defending some of your positions with my friends, something that's kind of, and it's sort of made me wonder too, the position on the EPA and that sort of thing. While I do believe that they're controlled by lobbyists and they don't do what they're supposed to do, in my mind I consider taking care of our country part of national defense, honestly. And some people ask about mountaintop removal and that sort of thing, and I'm wondering what your opinion is on, you know, if we were to remove the EPA, do you think things like mountaintop, or what is your opinion on mountaintop removal, and do you think that will get worse if we take away the EPA?
Okay, I think I heard the term the EPA, right? So I think it's an important question because I can't imagine anybody not caring about the environment. But I start off with a pretty strong assumption by the evidence, and that is the more dictatorial the government is, the bigger the government, and the more the property is owned by the people, by the government and all the people rather than individual owners, the worse the environment. The environment is better cared for when individuals have a responsibility to take care of the land for themselves. That doesn't solve all our problems because if you have air pollution or water pollution, it has to be resolved. But I don't endorse the EPA approach. It's a bureaucratic approach. It doesn't mean I don't think the federal government should ever be involved, because I think at times they would. But the EPA is absolutely out of control. The Congress creates the EPA. Then they come along and they write regulations, which are laws, and they do whatever they want. They're virtual dictators on what you can do with your land, and they push you through hoops, and there's all kinds of court cases going on, and that is a bureaucratic monster. But the basic principle of a free society and property rights is nobody has a right to pollute their neighbor's property. You don't have a right to dump your garbage in their yard, nor your smoke, or pollute their water or their air. And that's a good principle. That still doesn't solve all the problems. If you live in one small little community and some one person is dumping sewage into the river or garbage, it's pretty easy to identify and should be stopped. It should be stopped quickly. When we had the Industrial Revolution, there was little respect, less than respect, at least, for property rights. And big corporations and governments got together, and corporations weren't held accountable. They just let them pollute. My wife and I were raised in Pittsburgh. We couldn't even see the sky until noontime. Sometimes the sky was so black with soot. And the rivers were terrible. The fish couldn't live in the river. Nobody would get near them because the cities dumped their sewer in it. So it was a combination of big government and big business that polluted the air. Pittsburgh did get cleaned up a long time before the EPA. Local property rights city ordinances that said you had to quit doing this. So there was some changes. Where the federal government might need to be involved is, let's say there's a river dividing two states. But most of the time, it was intended that the states would have agreements with each other. Two states could get together and decide to solve those problems. When they cannot do it on their own, the federal government would have the authority to intervene. The federal government would have authority to negotiate pollution problems on our borders and under those circumstances. But the bureaucratic approach, where you have an independent bureaucracy that can write law and then flaunt it and have such disrespect and disregard for industry and for private markets, they will get into trouble.